They are a united force. The families and victims of survivors of the Old National Bank mass shooting are planning to take legal action now against the manufacturer of the gun used in the Louisville shooting. WHS 1119's Alex Dieterer talked with an attorney today on the claims that will be made in this lawsuit. Alex?
Doug, what we know right now is that Radical Firearms, the company that made the rifle used in the shooting last April, the gunman, who was a former bank employee, bought that gun just days before the shooting. Now a lawsuit is planning to be filed against that Texas gun manufacturer. April 10th, 2023.
That there's an active shooter inside the building.
5 people dead and 8 others injured. Now, more than 6 months later, surviving victims and families of the Old National Bank mass shooting are planning to file a lawsuit against the Texas-based manufacturer that made the AR-15 rifle used that day.
We want to hold these manufacturers responsible for how they market their products, and we want to find a way to keep these weapons out of the hands of people who are in dark days mentally. And prevent these mass shootings from happening.
Louisville attorney Tad Thomas told WHAS 11 he was hired by the wife of Jim Tutt and 5 others who were hurt in the downtown shooting.
They all want to make sure that weapons of mass destruction are not in the hands of people that are mentally unable to handle them, and that's what this lawsuit's about.
The gunman bought the rifle at a Louisville firearms store just days before the shooting. His family has previously said he had mental health challenges, but they didn't know he owned a gun. Thomas says the lawsuit is at a halt until the LMPD investigation findings are released.
Because we think that will shed a lot of light onto how this tragedy occurred.
Thomas, along with Chicago-based law firm Romanucci and Blandon, are working on their own investigation into how the weapon was manufactured, marketed, and if there's a viable claim under Kentucky law. Back in 2005, President George W. Bush signed into law the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, essentially giving the gun industry immunity if their gun is used in a crime. Thomas says there are exceptions.
We believe that the manufacturer in this case violated Kentucky state law in the way that it marketed and sold this firearm. So we feel that PLACA will not apply.
But at the end of the day, Thomas hopes for justice for these families and survivors.
We hope that this process that we go through in litigation will eventually be cathartic, and it's the families are standing up for their loved ones, and in the cases of the wounded, fighting for themselves, and we're going to be there with them all along the way.
He says once the lawsuit is filed, it'll be a long process that could even result in a trial. I also spoke with attorney Hans Poppy today. He's representing the estate of Tommy Elliott. He told me at this point there's a standstill on filing the lawsuit until LMPD releases those investigation findings. Thomas says while there is no official time the firms are planning to file, given the investigation findings, he's hoping to file the lawsuit by the end of this year.